Thanks, Abby. Hey, this is the first Sunday of the month, so as is our tradition, I want to invite the kids to come forward. I brought the campfire back. I found the fire, all right? And so if you're 12 or under, you're invited up at this time to come sit with me around the campfire, and Pastor Brandon's going to talk to you, okay? So 12 and under, just come on up, right up around here. I'm going to take a seat and wait for you guys. All right, I see a few moving. I see a few you guys. Come on now. Watch out. No pressure. Hey, buddy. All right. Hey, so in the scripture that Abby just read to you guys, Jonah was angry. Do you ever get angry? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Why do you get angry? Yeah?
Because someone makes me angry.
Someone makes you angry. That's right. Right. Yeah. Sometimes someone does something that makes you angry. But when I was thinking just now, when I said, why do you get angry? You know what I was thinking about? Like, what's the point? What's the point of getting angry? Like, what is anger good for? Is it good to be angry? You think, no, it's not good to be angry? No. What do you think, Bo? No, yes, because if we say no and yes, then we've got all our bases covered, people, right? These kids are smart up here, okay? It is kind of a no and a yes. There's a lot of times when it's just not that good to be angry. But the truth is that sometimes it is good to be angry. Because anger, it helps us to be strong when we have to fight. And sometimes we have to fight when there's danger. Getting angry is how our body gets ready to fight when we have to. Have you ever noticed that when you get angry, you start to breathe differently? Right? You probably don't hear it, but your heart starts beating different too. Usually they're both faster. You breathe faster, and your heart goes faster. When you're angry, that's what's happening. Your body's getting ready to fight. Your body's getting ready to be as strong as it can be as a body in case you have to do something crazy, like run through a wall. Check this out. You might have to do this. It's a Lou Ferrigno. That is the Hulk. That's right. That's the Hulk from like the 80s, man. Welcome. All right. I like who the kids know who is that? So, when we're in danger and we have to fight, anger helps us to be strong in the fight. But here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. Sometimes we get angry and ready to fight when there's no real danger or when we don't really have to fight. And that's what you've probably learned at school. Almost every single time at school, it's just not an occasion to fight. It would be better to tell a teacher or a counselor or a parent just what's going on, right? And guys, sometimes we get in a little bit of danger. We get a little bit of danger, but we get like a whole lot of anger. So sometimes we're just really, really angry over a very little problem. And the problem with that is that you can hurt yourself if you try to run through a wall for no good reason. And sometimes, guys, there was danger a little while ago, or maybe a day or a week ago. There really was danger, and we were in a fight. But that's all done now, and we're still really angry. It's very important in life, guys, that we learn how to calm ourselves, to take deep breaths, and how to practice what we call mercy and forgiveness. When we're in danger and we have to fight, anger helps. But sometimes, very, very often, we don't have to fight. We're not in that kind of danger. So we have to learn how to calm down. Before you guys go to your seat, I want you to do something with me, okay? Can you guys look at me for a second? I want you to sit up straight, but also relax your body, okay? And I want you to take some deep breaths, okay? And I want you to think about all the good things God's given to you. And I want you to think about the ways that He forgives you. And next time, when you're tempted to get really angry and there's not really a fight that you need to be part of, I want you to do what you just did. Breathe deep. Relax. Think about who God is and what He's done for you. And it'll help, okay? You guys are really great. Can you guys go back to your seat and give it up for our kids? Wow. They did great. So like the Jonah that we find in chapter 4 that Abby just read for us, the Jonah that we find he's just like the older brother. We know this in the church, right? The older brother of the prodigal son. Just like the older brother of the prodigal son, Jonah is angry. And the thing about Jonah is his anger is very understandable. And at the same time, very inappropriate. That can happen, you know. Sometimes we can understand something very well, but it's still inappropriate. In both cases, with the older brother and with Jonah, there's just not a need for a fight, right? The fight is not what's called for. What's called for is mercy. There's a need, but it's a need for forgiveness. But Jonah, just like the older brother of the prodigal son, gets bent out of shape. And he starts fighting with God the way the older brother starts fighting with his father. I'm starting to believe that Jesus might have read Jonah at some point. Maybe. But the truth is, in reality, to say what I just said, to say that Jonah gets bent out of shape, is actually, it can be a little misleading. Because as we've seen over the past few weeks, it's not like Jonah just gets bent out of shape when God does His thing. Jonah came into Nineveh. Jonah came into this story already bent, pre-bent. You get what I mean? Out of shape from the very start. Last week, I went so far as to say that Jonah came into Nineveh as a werewolf. And what I meant there was that Jonah comes into the story corrupted, distorted, bent, out of shape. And the thing is, in chapter 4, he says so himself. And after this confession, after this comes out in the open, God asks Jonah a powerful question that is his question to us this morning. Is it right for you to be angry? In Hebrew, the text of verse 1 literally says, Jonah burned. We translate this stuff. I don't know if you know this. The Bible is more poetic than sometimes comes through in translation. But the idea is Jonah burned. You know what it is to be angry, right? You feel it. It's in your body. Jonah burned. And God's question to Jonah is literally, is it good for you to burn? Is it good for you to burn? It's the question I just asked our children. I mean, what's the point? What's the good? What's the purpose of anger? I think we need to have an answer to this in the moment of anger. Because anger is good when you have to run through a wall. If that's what you have to do, it would help to be angry. Anger is good when you need to pick up, swing, or throw something heavy. Anger is good when you have to fight, and you need to be strong in the fight. There's a time and a place, brothers and sisters, this is scripture too, for everything, right? There's a time and a place to burn, to be angry. And it's not always easy for us human beings to tell when that time is. Like, when is it appropriate for me to be angry, for me to burn? Because the burning happens a lot. It kind of just happens in us and to us. But when is it appropriate for me to burn? And as you know, one of the hardest questions with this whole anger thing is, how much should I be burning right now? How angry should I get over this? And the thing is, as I reflected on this fact that there are times that it can be appropriate to be angry, but it's hard to know when. A scene from Rocky 3 came to mind, so we're going to try to throw it back to the...
He's getting killed. Oh, no. He's not getting killed. He's getting mad.
I don't know if you caught that. He says, he's getting killed. No. He's not getting killed. He's getting mad. And this is the part where Rocky just keeps, he wears him down, Come on, hit me, champ. You know what I'm saying? And this image just popped in my head. I thought I would share it to you because it reminded me that burning anger can be a sign of life. It does not need to be ruthlessly eliminated from our lives because there's a time and a place. And burning anger, it can be not just a sign of life, it's a source of life. Rocky doesn't get through that beating. Rocky doesn't get through Rocky 3, right? Unless he goes to that place and allows the anger to be what it is meant to be for him, a source of strength in a fight. So anger has a place, brothers and sisters. Don't let someone tell you otherwise. When we're in danger and have to fight, anger helps us be strong in the fight. But as I try to explain to our children, the problem is sometimes we get angry and ready to fight when there's just no real danger and no good reason to fight. Sometimes we're in just that's one problem. Sometimes we're in just a little bit of danger. There's a threat. It's something that you should notice and be concerned about. But there's a little bit of danger and there's a whole lot of anger. And that should not be. Sometimes there was a danger and it was real. And it wasn't really a choice for us, but we found ourselves in a fight. But that's all over and done now. And we stay angry. That's a problem. And I didn't say it to the kids before, but I think, as adults, having reflected a little on Jonah, that you might be ready for it now. It's not, brothers and sisters, it's not just that sometimes we get bent out of shape in different situations. We all know that's true. We do and can get bent out of shape in certain situations. I said last week, you need to know your triggers. You also need to know that God's grace is sufficient, okay? But you need to know your triggers. There are situations where it might be very easy for you to get bent out of shape, and you should learn that about yourself. And church is a great place for people to help you learn that about yourself. Sometimes by triggering you, hopefully not. Other times by just encouraging you to acknowledge some things about yourself. But in life, the problem is not just that these moments and these triggers are out there or in here. The problem is we come into a lot of situations, we come into them pre-bent. We come into situations where we really want to do our best as people who were born into sin. We enter into the situation already out of shape. I guess it's like this, and it's like this. There you go. See, that is not a baseball. That is not a baseball. All the materials that go into a baseball are in this picture, right? There's a cork covered in rubber, various yarns, leather, some red thread. But this collection of materials, right, is, as we all know, not a baseball. Why? Why is it not a baseball? Well, the answer is very simple. In addition to having these materials to be a baseball, to do what it's supposed to do, right? To function, to get along, it's got to have a certain form. That's the way we say it. It's got to have a form. Without the form, it doesn't have the nature. All the materials are there, but what good are the materials apart from the form? The right way of being together. You can't throw a curveball with a heap of yarn, man. You can't do it. A few years ago, a friend of mine asked me to play on his rec league softball team. And I played baseball until I was in middle school. I mean, I was mainly a basketball guy, but I played baseball until I was in middle school. And then when I was in my 20s, for 1 year, I played like a church league softball thing, okay? And back then, I could carry my weight. I was okay, doing my thing. I got okay at the plate. I was good in the field. But when I came back to it, I mean, it had been like a decade or two since I was on the diamond. And for a while, I just had trouble with the most basic things. I could not read a ball from center field anymore. Off the bat, I didn't know where it was till it was too late. And at the plate, I could still, you could hear the wind, but it just wasn't lining up. I wasn't squaring up the ball anymore. And I had the tools, right? I had the materials, general athleticism, coordination, knowledge of the game, but what was now missing was good form. I was out of shape as a baseball player, and I'd lost. And what that amounted to wasn't just a physical thing. I had lost my feel for the outfield. I had lost my feel for the ball at the plate. I think the thing is about us, when we talk about this kind of thing, when we use the phrase getting out of shape, we tend to focus on physical things, right? We're all sort of, many of us, it's not a done deal, right? But many of us have gotten out of shape all of us at some point in life have gotten out of shape. And we know that comes with like not jumping as high, not jumping as far, not running as fast, not running as far, this kind of thing. But I just took a moment to share my softball experience with you for this reason. I want to remind you that getting out of shape, losing your form, can have more of an impact than just sort of a loss of some physical abilities. It's true about us, brothers and sisters, that our hearts and minds can get out of shape so that we're not really perceiving things the right way. Our experience itself can become polluted through a certain kind of being pre-bent before you ever arrive. And the church teaches us that this has been happening since we were born. As an outfielder, I would sometimes jump in the wrong direction. I would move forward when I should have drop stepped. At the plate, man, I would sometimes just lunge for pitches that were no good, way outside, or way about to be in the dirt. In Nineveh, Jonah appears to be in that kind of situation. As a character, he has the tools, the word of God spoken to him. He knows about it. He has all the tools to be a prophet, to be a partner with God in the work of salvation. All the materials are there, but what's missing is the form. As God's partner, potential partner, as a human being, he's just out of shape. As we've seen over the last month, that Jonah is a case study on what it looks like to be out of form as a human being. He's a character above most characters in the Bible that you're supposed to look at and say, I do not want to be like that. This guy is bent. But as we've walked along with Jonah, the thing that we've also seen, I think, is just as clear to me as the fact that Jonah is bent and a character we don't want to be like, is that Jonah is us. We're like him. And in this final chapter of the book of Jonah, what we find out is that one very serious way to be bent or out of shape as a person, as a human being, and a partner with God, is to become someone who's just one-sided in favor of angry responses. It's not that anger is the problem in the sense that it has to be rooted out of your life. It's that you become one-sided, too good at it, too quick on the trigger to angry town, and too slow to mercy. Brothers and sisters, you just look around you, turn a TV set on, talk to somebody. I think we have to admit, we have a widespread problem on the anger front. It's not just that, the thing is, and again, it's not just that we struggle as a society or as individuals to come down from anger. I think that that's very real and that you can see it everywhere you go, right? We struggle to come down from angry. But there's more bending going on than that in culture and in self, right? It's not just that we can't come down from anger, it's like we can't get up for mercy. We struggle to talk ourselves out of being angry, and we don't struggle to talk ourselves out of having pity. That's easy for us. That's elementary school. Most of us, it's just hard not to be angry and easy not to have mercy. This morning, I want you to think about yourself for a minute. I mean, think about how easy it is for you to talk yourself out of an act of mercy. An idea pops in the head. How good are you at thinking about why you shouldn't do that? Probably pretty good. I think y'all know, and I won't belabor the point, and y'all know, and the good Lord knows, there's a lot of us, especially those in positions of power, whose hearts have just been hardened through that experience to the point where it's like we appear to be incapable of pity. And that's a problem. But the problem goes deeper than that. I mean, even in our world, it's like this, brothers and sisters. Even those who feel pity for others tend to be good at talking themselves out of acts of mercy. Even those who still have that emotion that prepares them for mercy tend to be skilled, taught, brought up to not act it out, to sever the connection and not go with that flow. As I read the book of Jonah and I survey the landscape of just our media, right? What's being flashed in front of us, and our personalities at large. I mean, anybody who's thinking I'm talking to you, I'm probably not. but at large, there's a great imbalance in our lives and our world. A loss of our human form, a loss of our vocation. We're not ready to become partners with God in the work of salvation like this. We've gotten out of shape, brothers and sisters, as persons and as a people, as individuals and as a nation. And God is calling to us from the cross. He's calling us to get our anger in check and to make it our habit to be merciful in action. He's calling us to love one another in truth and in deed. So when you see people who around you, brothers and sisters, who are bent out of shape, acting a fool, don't know their right hand from their left, like the people of Nineveh, if you've read the Bible, if you've just been here at all, don't be surprised first. Don't be surprised. Also, in that moment, don't forget your training. Relax. Straighten up your back. Breathe deeply. Think about and name what God has done for you. The good things in your world. And the forgiveness that it's taken for you to get here. And don't forget, as all of it's going on, that we've been commanded, not a suggestion. We've been commanded for our own good, as if God were a good parent. We've been commanded to love our enemies. We've been commanded to forgive 77 times. We've been commanded to care for the least of these. Is that what we're doing? Today is all about this, what we're about to do, and this, what we've been doing the whole time, is about remembering who Jesus is. It's about remembering what he said. And it's about remembering what he's done for us. And doing likewise. Do likewise. So now let's follow his lead. Okay? Let's come to the table. Let's become human beings again, or for the first time. Let's just be partners with Christ in the work of salvation.